Alright, this is John Cole with DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. In this episode, we're going to compare two of the low-end, well that's because I sell usually high-end juicers, and this is for you guys that aren't really serious about juicing, aren't really sure you're going to stick with it for life, and you want to kind of get your feet wet to see if it's something that you're going to stick with before you guys buy a high-end machine. That being said, if you guys are serious about making life changes, changing your life, losing weight, getting healthier, boosting your immune system with fruit and vegetable juices, I'd actually recommend against one of these two machines, because for me personally, these ones I consider personally toys compared to the higher end models. Actually, this is my travel juicer on my last trip to Hawaii and Florida. Actually, I didn't take this to Florida, but I took this to Hawaii and I was juicing in my hotel room. So that's where I like to use this machine, and it's never failed me so far, but I do use it very occasionally. Over on this side, we have the all-new Omega 365 cold press juicer. This is a horizontal single auger slow juicer, and actually I saw this when I was traveling as well, but it wasn't because I brought it with me. I would have brought this. It takes up a little bit less counter space. So actually every juicer has its pros and cons, and I'm here to share with you guys the pros and cons of each model so that you guys can determine the best machine for you, because I think that's the biggest travesty out there, is that the manufacturers, hey, you know, I respect them highly. It's their job to say this is the best or that's the best, but I'm going to cut through all the BS and show you guys what's up, and more importantly, explain to you guys how the juicers work, how they're different, how they're the same, and which one may be better for you. So stay tuned for this episode. Over on this side, we have the Tribest Shine juicer. This is a vertical slow juicer, also cold press juicer, because it crushes and squeezes out the juice. Runs at a low and slow 40 RPM, whereas this guy runs at about 90 RPM, so it runs a little bit faster. But just because it's twice the RPM, does that mean this one's better because it's slower, or this one's better because it's faster? I don't think the RPM difference is that significant to make any major difference. I mean, because of the way the juicers are designed, they have to have the RPM that they do. But the main thing I want you guys to remember is that, you know, I always encourage you guys to get a slow juicer instead of a high-speed juicer that is most commonly available if you go to your local big box store. Most of those juicers they sell there are high-speed juicers. Number one, they're really loud. They sound like an airplane taking off in your kitchen. And number two, they don't extract all the nutrients from things like seeds and peels based on scientific journal-published studies that I have seen. In addition, they tend to put a lot of air in your juice, so they will basically oxidize the juice, causing less of some of the nutrients, as well as adding air to the juice, making excess froth and foam, which actually, because the antioxidants are not in there and they've been degraded already by basically pushing a lot of oxygen into that, they're not there, so that you cannot reliably store the juice for any length of time. They advertise that you guys can store the juices on slow juicers such as these for up to 3 days. That being said, I would encourage you guys to watch the video down below and how I store juice for up to 5 days under vacuum, which is absolutely the best way to do it. I'll put a link, if I remember, to that video. So yeah, so each one of these machines have their pros and cons, but they're both very quiet. Let me go ahead and turn this one on. This one beeps and then it stops and then it comes on. It's really quiet. You could probably operate this when your kids are asleep, your wife's asleep, your girlfriend is still asleep, your roommates are asleep. And with the Tribest Shine juicer, also very quiet. I mean, you could barely hear that. I don't really need to raise my voice so you guys can hear me. And this is what I like about the slow juicers. You know, they're not super fast, super violent. They have a slow crushing and grinding method. Now, while this is a vertical, this is a horizontal, which is apparent because this one sits vertically. The auger is sitting vertically up and down. This auger is running horizontally. That's why it's a vertical. That's why we're not horizontal. Each style has their different pros and cons. You know, honestly, the horizontal style juicer came out first, and then the vertical juicer is a more recent invention. And me personally, for what I juice specifically, I prefer a vertical juicer because in general they are definitely more versatile than this style machine. They have some pros and cons, like you will see me need to pre-cut certain items such as celery, kale, collards, leafy greens, even things like ginger, you know, things that have fibrous strings in there could basically get stuck in this machine because as you put the produce in, it has to go down and then has to make a right angle turn, boop, and come right out this ejection port And if you have strings, strings are known to get stuck in that ejection port. Things like carrots don't really get stuck because there's no strings in there, and that pulp could freely flow through. Another benefit to this machine is that it juices fruits the best out of all the different slow juicers that I've tested to date. Actually, I made a video with this juicing cactus fruits, one of my favorite fruits, and this is the only juicer I recommend for juicing straight cactus fruits, because juicing straight cactus fruits can actually damage other juicers. And then over on this side, this machine, if you're trying to do straight fruits, like, I wouldn't recommend it. It may clog or jam or not work for you, actually, because the pulp is so soft, it can't push its way through the horizontal auger, whereas basically in many cases the vertical or gravity pulls the fruit down to come out if it's firm enough. That being said, super soft things should not be juiced, and if you do want to juice something super soft fruits, right, a lot of fruits, in my opinion, should be blended, like bananas. Never juice bananas. You're not going to get any juice out. Bananas are better blended, as are many fruits, in my personal opinion. Although if you do want to juice them, if you alternate something like carrots or peeled jicama, it's going to work beautifully, okay? On this side, this machine is if like you want to juice wheatgrass and leafy greens. John, I just want to make a green juice with like celery and greens. I'm not even going to use any apples or any oranges or any pineapple because I don't want to use any fruit for whatever reason. Then this style machine would be best for you, because basically you put the celery in without cutting it and you just push it in and then it juices without hassle, because the produce goes in, makes a right angle turn as it goes in, and then has a straight direct shot to come out of the machine without clogging up the machine. Whereas this one, the reason why I like this one is actually, you'll see I don't even have the pusher in here, because actually I don't recommend you guys use a pusher when you use a vertical, because you may be pushing things in too fast, faster than the juicer can accept it, and that's going to cause some challenges. So actually I like the fact that this juicer auto feeds, whereas this machine I have to push each and every produce item in, but on this machine you got to pre-cut it. So I'm one of the people, I'd rather pre-cut stuff, drop it in and let the machine work, instead of me having a hassle pushing each produce item in. Although some of you guys may not like cutting stuff and rather push it in, so, you know, whatever floats your boat. And then this guy, yeah, juices leafy greens really well. These two machines juice carrots and root vegetables about the same. Slow auger juicers, such as these, are not the best style juicer for getting the highest yield when juicing carrots, but they will make a high quality juice compared to like a high speed machine, which actually will make a higher yield on carrots when I have tested it in the past, you know, than a slow juicer like this. So let's see, I want to next go ahead and explain some of the different parts and the parts you'll need to clean on each juicer, and show you guys how these assemble and disassemble. I think I'll start with the Shine over here. Basically you kind of turn this little top and it comes off, and this is where the produce gets put into the machine. It's pretty easy to clean underneath here, so I like that. And then you just have only a few parts in here. There's only actually 4 parts to clean on this machine. You have the auger, which Tribest or Shine advertises as BPA free, as well as the juicing screen. So actually all the parts on this machine are BPA free. Oh, and look at that, I just noticed my screen is cracked. This has happened to a few of my customers, but I didn't notice it until now. So yeah, the screen can crack on any machine. I have heard this happen on several of the Shines that I've sold. This has happened to, but then Tribest, the company, will replace this under warranty, so I don't know what was going on because I hadn't noticed that before. But yeah, the screen is the most likely part to crack or get damaged on any auger style juicer from what I've seen. And actually this is the first time, maybe the second time I've cracked a vertical screen. These parts are advertised as BPA free, as I said, and they are very easy to clean. They give you a special cleaning brush to clean them. This is the auger that basically is rotating around. It crushes the produce, and then as the produce is crushed, it's literally crushed and squeezed, and the juice is then squeezed out of the 2-stage screen. The top stage, which is on the initial crush, and the bottom stage as the produce gets ground up more. And then finally you have this main juicing bowl. So this juicing bowl is fairly easy to clean. I like that there's no like little gears in there or anything. A lot of the higher end juicers will have a wiping blade, which is good, I think, overall. But this does not have that at all. It makes it really simple. It also has a pulp flap, so you can kind of close this to prevent drips on your counter. I do not recommend juicing with this pulp flap closed, because I've noticed that if you do that, as you're juicing, the juice is sitting inside the bowl, but then so is the pulp that's trying to get wrung out to come out. So you basically are going to have a little bit wetter pulp on the way out. Because you want to mix in the bowl, I would rather mix in the collection cup. In addition, at the bottom you have this little rubber or silicone flap. It's black. I don't know if you guys can see that little flap right here. I'm moving it, and this should be pushed into this little hole right here when juicing. And let's see. So yeah, I got that pushed in, and what that does, that provides some back pressure and does not allow the pulp to free flow out. And some juice, when you first start juicing, may come out of this, but that's completely normal until it gets filled up with pulp. And then as pulp comes out, it keeps back pressure on the pulp to keep it inside the machine so you guys get a more full and complete extraction. I do like on the Shine juicers, this actually has one of the largest holes or exit ports on any vertical juicer that I've seen to date, so that this machine clogs less. That being said, just because it clogs less doesn't mean you do not have to pre-cut things. You should pre-cut things and also slow down when juicing, so you don't put too much stress on the parts. Alright, now I'm going to show you guys how to assemble this machine. There's a little dot on here. That dot lines up with the little unlock padlock here, and then you slide that to the lock, and then it's locked in place. This can be used as a carry handle, which is really nice. Next, you put the juicing screen in, and there's a little part where the pulp comes out. That needs to line up exactly with that little gasket that you put in that little black silicone flap, and then it seats in. And then you got the auger, and you're just going to go ahead and take your auger and put that all the way in. It's going to rotate and then drop in. And then you got to take your top. The top has a little white dot that then you're going to line up with the unlock symbol over here on the top of the bowl, and then you're going to slide that to lock, and if you've assembled it properly, you can turn it on. Oh, I didn't get to talk about the motor. This motor is rated at 200 watts on the motor, which is a fairly powerful motor on a vertical juicer. Some of the other models on vertical juicers has only a 150 watt motor, but just because it's 150 watt doesn't mean it's less. It just means actually it draws less current, and it may be actually a more durable, more powerful motor, and may have more torque. That being said, when I've always used the Shine, I've rarely have any issues with it stopping and jamming due to insufficient torque. Alright? The other thing I want to say is that this is actually nice because it's stainless steel lined on the outside, so it looks nice and snazzy. And unlike other low-end juicers, Tribest have been making juicers for over 25 years now, and they know some of the challenges and some of the problems that a slow juicer such as this can have. So they've actually improved some of the internal workings, like the different gears that turn the motor, that turn the reduction set, so that they're less prone to breaking than other inexpensive juicers on the market. Plus, this is backed up by Tribest, who has been in business now for, I think, what, 30 years now or something. So yeah, that's pretty much the Shine. Super easy, super simple. Let's see, go ahead and move it over on the Omega Cold Press 365 infomercial famous. We're going to go ahead and take this apart once again. You got the pusher. Oh yeah, you got a pusher on here, but I never use it. And then you have a few parts. You have this end cap. So this end cap does the same thing as a little flap kind of. It basically puts back pressure on the pulp so that it cannot come out between the auger and the screen. But there is no flap, unlike some of the other low-end or horizontal juicers. Sometimes they have at least like a little silicone kind of piece that kind of put a little tension. This has nothing. Some of them actually have adjustments. This has no adjustments, so you probably will get a little bit wetter pulp on this model than other Omega horizontal auger models. This is their low-end version, and I don't know if I mentioned this, but the Tribest has a 3-year warranty, and the 365 only has a 1-year warranty. So if you're just buying on warranty alone, you're going to want to get the Shine, because the warranty is 3 times as long as the Omega. But here's the thing: most inexpensive juicers such as this only have maybe a short 90-day or even 1-year warranty. And even worse, some of the cheap and inexpensive juicers on the market are backed up by a company that may not be there next year. Meanwhile, Omega, once again, they've been in business now 25, 30 years, pretty much kind of the same in line with Tribest, although they have been selling juicers a little bit longer than Tribest has. And then the thing I don't like about this part is that actually this part is probably about, there's this wide of a section. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's a little hole in there. The pulp needs to go through this hole and then come out, and there's a big section in there that's really not easy to get clean. That may kind of provide some level of back pressure, but I don't like that there's like a little bit of space that I can't get, like they don't give you a tool to clean that out so much. Alright, next on here you got the juicing screen. So this is a single stage juicing screen. The produce gets crushed and then it works its way down the screen and then the juice comes out the juicing screen. It's a pretty basic screen. This is like the old style original Horizontal as they originally came out when Omega originally came out with their Omega 8000d juicer. Now their Omega is up to like an 8008 juicer, so they've gone through many different revisions since then, so they kind of went back to old school. There's pros and cons of this style screen, of course. I like that there are lots of holes to allow juice to come out, but also there's more screen area to clean as well. Next we have the auger. Now while this auger and the screen may look like the similar material on the as a Shine, Omega does not put BPA-free statements, and a matter of fact, on many Omega juicers, they actually have a California Prop 65 statement on the box that says this product may, doesn't say does, it says may contain or may expose you to BPA or something like that. So I want you guys to be aware of that and know that is really an important factor for you. For me personally, like, you know, I've seen testing on some of the machines that may contain some small levels of BPA in, say, the auger during manufacture, but then after it's manufactured and they run and juice through it, they've never tested, well, from the tests I've seen, BPA in the actual juice. That being said, I'd be more concerned about eating food out of cans that have a BPA lining, that the food has been sitting in the can for months or maybe even years before you open it and eat it, absorbing all those different you know, plasticizers, as well as sitting in an acid environment, because most canned foods are maybe more on the acid side. I don't really think that, you know, small contact with a little bit of plastic as the produce is put in and comes out juiced, all happening within 15 seconds or something. I don't think that's a major consideration, unless you're really somebody that just gets glass, doesn't eat things out of cans and all these things. I mean, I think bottled water, personally drinking water out of a bottle, which I do on occasion when I'm traveling and I'm dehydrated, is worse than like using a plastic juicer personally. And then finally you have this main body piece that just comes out. So I mean, basically you have the similar amounts of parts to clean, 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course this funnel kind of comes out. And I want to compare these to the feed chutes. Actually, the feed chute on the 365 is a little bit larger than some of the other Omega models. But let's see if I compare these side by side. Wow, that's impressive. So I would have to say that actually they're just about the same size. Maybe the 365 is like just a tad bit larger, but they're a little bit different shapes, so you can't compare really apples to oranges. But yeah, because anyways, very similar feed chute size, so that's interesting. So anyways, getting back to assembling the 365, unlike other Omega juicers that have a little locking, you know, nut on the front, this has like a little lever, which makes it a little bit easier. So you're going to open this lever up to the top. Then this drum basically gets put on. This lever gets pushed down. You can go ahead and put your funnel on, and then you're going to go ahead and put your auger in. When you seat the auger in the back, there will be a little bit of space between the back of this drum plastic piece and the auger, so don't be alarmed. It does not go all the way back. The screen then goes in. It's non-directional, so you can twist it whatever direction as long as it fits in and seats all the way back. You're good. Then you're going to take this outlet or drum cap on, non-adjustable, put that on, rotate it all the way back in, and turn it, and you are basically all set up and ready to juice. This machine has a 150 watt motor, once again 1-year warranty, and this one has no handle to carry it. So I mean, you could lift this up to carry with this handle, but it's not really a handle, so I wouldn't do that. It'd be put a lot of weight on this, plus then this piece could just fall out. So if you need a handle, then this one. Also, this one takes a larger footprint on the countertop. If you like put this upright, it's actually a lot fatter, than say the Shine juicer over here overall. So it's a bit bigger juicer. Also has a 50 watt less powerful motor and a 2-year shorter warranty. So yeah, that's very interesting. Oh, and then I'm not showing the collection cups. The collection cups, I think, on the Shine are a little bit larger, although these collection cups tend to be on the smaller side compared to some of the other higher end juicers on the market. Another thing I want to mention real quick is that the Shine juicer only comes with one juicing screen, which is basically the norm. Every juicer comes with one juicing screen, and you saw mine was a bit cracked, but it's still operational. But I need to contact them, and they will send me another under warranty. Whereas the Omega 365 Comes with 2 screens, which is like a world's first. I don't know any other juicer that comes with 2 screens, so actually I like that. It allows you to easily change out recipes really quickly without having to clean to take the screen out and clean it. Like I did that in one of the videos. I just basically put a new screen in and kept juicing, because this one, they do get clogged up with pulp after juicing for a while, so I do like that. And both these machines, unlike some other machines on the market, are set up to juice only, right? Some juicers can make frozen fruit sorbet, nut butters, and grind up things and mince herbs and stuff. Both these machines are only designed to juice. The other thing that's really important that I want to share with you guys, because this is something that has happened very recently due to COVID and many other reasons, the Omega's customer service is really, I've seen it just take a nosedive. You know, and I like to just tell like it is to my customers and give you guys a choice. You know, Tribest, I mean, they're definitely a lot better than Omega. Sometimes I get a customer that, you know, will say, hey John, Tribest's not taking care of me, and then I will intercede, and then Tribest always, actually very quickly, takes care of my customers. And that's the thing I want to tell you guys, because I know some of you guys, after service is very important, and if after service is important for you, I mean, I gotta say, I would avoid Omega personally at this point, because after service is not good. And I've talked to some of the high-end representatives in the company to try to get this repaired, and hopefully they're making progress, and hopefully it'll all be corrected soon. But at this point, when this video is being filmed, you know, 2020, the release date, June 2020, like, yeah, Omega has some customer service, you know, issues in my personal opinion. Now, the other thing I want to say is that if you guys enjoy and like my videos, hey, please be sure to support me by making your purchase at discountjuicers.com. This allows me to continue to basically do head-to-head juice comparisons of all different major brands, because I basically sell all the major brands that are out there. And I play no favorites, although there are juicers I like and some juicers I don't like. I try to basically just show you guys and tell you guys like it is by weighing out even amounts of produce and explaining the machines, you know, in depth for you, so that you can see, oh, I like this about this machine, but I like that about that machine, and then you can see, you can make the determination of what juicer you want to buy. So not only are my pre-sales videos valuable, if you have any questions specifically about buying a juicer, hey, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll put a link down below in the description. You can reach out to me directly. I answer all the emails personally myself. I can only help customers that are located in the United States, because that is our service area. If you are in a foreign country, please contact a dealer in your area. The other thing you're going to get is you're going to get after service support, which is huge, especially right now. If you're just a standard customer and bought an Omega, who knows where, even from them directly, and you email them for support or customer service. You know, some of my customers says, John, I've emailed Omega like a month ago. I haven't heard anything. Then they escalate it to me. They say, John, I emailed Omega a month ago. They didn't respond to me to the service because I'm having a legitimate warranty issue. Then I will intercede. I will forward your situation, explain it well to the customer service rep at Omega. I have a dedicated support staff to help me and my customers, and then things get taken care of. And even now, due to COVID and other reasons, things are taking a bit longer, but all my customers are getting helped, in my opinion, significantly faster than if they just tried to contact Omega alone. So for that reason alone, you're basically insured, because, you know, here's the thing. Juicing has changed my life. I know it could change your life too, and I'm not just sitting here. I could sell any old widget if I wanted to, but I don't really care. There's a lot of garbage out in the world, but I truly believe that juicing is one of the best things and the best kitchen appliance you guys could own to improve your health, because no other appliance in your kitchen will allow you to concentrate the fruit and the vegetables to get them more into you, especially the leafy greens, so that you can benefit from their valuable phytonutrients, phytochemicals, micronutrients, vitamins, and minerals like the juicers can. They keep it raw, they keep the enzymes intact, they keep as much nutrients as possible intact when you're using a slow juicer, so that you can derive the benefits, because we are basically nutrient starved in our society, you know. So yeah, that's my you know, request to you. If I've helped you, hey, please support me so I can continue to make these videos, continue to educate people. And, you know, yeah, link is down below to buy both these machines on the discountjuicers.com website if you would like to purchase. And I want to thank you guys in advance who will purchase from me, and thank you guys in advance, thank you guys already for people have supported me in the past, so I can continue my mission and my work to teach people about eating more fruits and vegetables, and even how to grow them. Anyways, I think that's it for these two machines. Just telling you guys about them. I want to get into juicing next. We're going to go ahead and use a stopwatch and see how long it takes to take to juice the same exact items in both machines. Today we'll be juicing organic grapes, organic celery, and some fresh picked mint out of my garden. So we're going to come back and we're going to do a weigh-in for it. Alright, so we're all ready and set up to juice, and the first thing I like to do in every one of my juice off videos is do a weigh-in to share with you guys to make sure we have a fair fight. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and do a weigh-in over on the Shine juicer side. Looks like we got 1212 grams. We got the organic grapes, fresh picked mint out of my garden, and organic celery. And over on the Omega cold press 365, we also have 1212 grams. Same exact ingredients. Grapes, mint, and celery. There you guys go. Let's go ahead and show that. Even steel keel. 12. Let's get juicing. Alright, let's go ahead and get these scales moved out the way, and we're going to go ahead and juice in both juicers. Now here's the thing, right? Juicing, total juicing time is how much time does it take you to prep the produce, which every juicer you're going to have to do that. How much time it takes to juice the produce, and then how much time it takes to clean the juicer so that you can be done and put away. So the juicing time is what I'll be testing for you guys today, or share with you guys with a stopwatch app on the phone here. The other thing is the cleaning time. So I think in general, the cleaning time for me on both these machines are fairly similar. I haven't timed myself on this specific machine, but this machine probably takes me around 3 minutes. I know I'd say this machine's probably about the same. Probably about 3 minutes, depending on how quick you are. So I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and juice. Now we will have to pre-cut our celery. Generally you would also pre-cut the mint, but I went to my garden and grabbed only the tips of the mint, which is actually very tender mint. So these are not very fibrous strings. They pretty much break apart really easily. So this does not need to be pre-cut, but normally any kind of herbs will need to be pre-cut before juicing. The celery will also need to be pre-cut. In a little, I recommend 1/8 inch pieces, although I'll let you get away with 1/4 inch pieces, just for best results. And then we're going to rotate the items as we put in. So it's always best to put like the softest stuff in first, so like grapes. Then maybe put a little bit of mint in, and then followed by some celery. And then we'll just keep rotating grapes, mint, celery until we're done. I might show you guys a little bit of that, but I'm probably just going to go ahead and fast forward and speed it up so you guys can see the process and save you guys some time at the same time. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hit start. It's going. All right, let's turn this machine on. And first step is always pre-cut your greens and celery first. We're not going to pre-cut the mint, but we're just going to take the celery on the cutting board and we're just going to chop this up. So like I like to, I could have did this. I could have grabbed like some grapes and like put them in the machine and let that work while I'm actually still pre-cutting. So I'm actually kind of multitasking. So generally I like to do this. Put more grapes in there, let that kind of drop in. We're then going to take some mint, because that's the second item going right in the machine. Push that in the chute. I got some of this celery already pre-cut, so now we can drop a little bit of the celery in there. Once again, I like that this basically just drops in the machine. It just sucks itself in because it is a vertical juicer. And as that's juicing, we're going to then go ahead and keep cutting. I'm going to listen carefully as the machine is going, and I can kind of hear when the tone is different on the machine, letting me know that, hey, it's pretty much worked through what I put in there. So now we're going to put in the next load, like a handful of grapes. Let that process for a little minute before I then go ahead and repeat the process, put more mint, and then finally this pre-cut celery. So let's see, now we got more mint. All right, so what I'm going to do is we're just going to go ahead and fast forward this to save you guys some time. Alright, so I'm almost done juicing in the Shine juicer. Got our last handful of just grapes and mint that I'm kind of like scooping up all at once. Last 2 grapes going in. And the very important thing is you always want to end on something like with celery or carrots or something that's going to help push through all the soft stuff that's sitting inside the machine. I also have used a sieve to strain out the pulp because I want to see how much pulp each juicer makes as well. Alright, last 2 handfuls of celery going in. And the thing I want to let you guys know is that after you put the last handful in, you're just like, I put the last handful in and turn it off immediately. If you still see juice coming out and pulp moving out of the ejection port, then let the machine run more. There's still things are still being juiced inside there. If you turn it off prematurely, then there's likely to be, you know, more pulp in the juicer when you're done that did not get juiced because it hasn't like worked through it all the way. We're gonna go ahead and shake this down a little bit. Wow, looks like we almost made 900 milliliters. One of the tips you could, well, it's still kind of running and it's still dripping. We could kind of turn this off and then we could hit reverse a little bit. And then we could go ahead and hit forward again and see if we could get any you know, major juice out. But to me it looks like it's pretty much all done. We're going to tip this guy up a little bit, make sure we got all the juice. Close that spout out, turn that off, and hit the stop. Alright, so it looks like it took 5 minutes, 42 seconds to juice in the Shine juicer. Let's see how long it takes to juice in the Omega Cold Press 365. We're going to go ahead and move this out of the way. And actually, we're not going to have to pre-cut anything on this, so that's going to be kind of nice. Alright, so let's hit the start button. And let's go ahead and turn this on. Once again, we're going to rotate all the ingredients. I like both these machines have nice little funnels. This one will kind of auto feed in the grapes. Without issue, then we're going to go ahead and put a little bit of the mint in there, maybe a few more grapes since I have a disproportionately large amount of grapes to juice. And then this is where it kind of gets stuck and you're going to have to use the pusher. Or actually better yet, I like to use the like a celery or something to push it in. So maybe we'll let it like take off a bunch of celery and then pull the celery out, and then we'll go ahead and continue the grapes, and then we'll continue with the mint, and then we'll push that in again with the celery. So in order to save you guys some time, we're going to go ahead and speed this up, and we'll come back at you when I'm about done. Alright, I'm just about done juicing the Omega Cold Press 365 juicer. Man, the collection cup's getting real close to being overfilled. So hopefully we make it and we don't have to empty it out once, because that'll actually increase the amount of time that I'm having to juice. We got the last bunch of grapes and the last bit of celery going in, and we are all finished. Alright, wow, and it just basically sucked that in. Woo, this thing clear up to the brim. So what I want to do next for you guys is actually go ahead and move these guys front and center, our fresh made juice. Oh, and we're going to let that run until it stops, which it's, let's see here, pretty much stopped. So we're going to go ahead and stop that. Wow, 4:32. So that took about a minute less actually in the horizontal. So depending on the specific juicer you use and the recipe, it may take more or less time. Why did I think this machine took less time, more time? Probably because I wasn't as efficient like cutting and dropping, plus I had to pre-cut stuff. So, you know, once again, even though this might save you time, this one might save you time depending on, say you're juicing more fruits, because this is going to back up more with fruits. But obviously on this recipe, this machine saved a minute, but in the scope of things, a minute is not that long, alright? So over here, we're going to go ahead and line that up, and then we're going to go ahead and get the same exact cup, measuring cup here, and the same exact sieve, and we're going to go ahead and let's see, I like to always tip this machine up a little bit, like up a little bit this way, up a little bit this way, and as soon as I move this guy out, because there's no spout cap, I put this guy underneath so that I don't get drips on the countertop. Man, this is going to be a little bit of a pain to pour out of the corner of this without spilling. Let's see if I can do it. Alright, yeah, no problem, it really didn't spill much. And we're going to go ahead and shake this down. Now, you know, I did get a complaint a while back that like, John, I bought a slow juicer and the juicer separated, the juice separated. So know this, all juices will separate over time. I don't care what it's being made on, unless there's not a lot of fiber content in there, like a pure like juice that without any fiber, not going to separate because there's no solids in there to separate out. I do like the fact that there is some fiber in there. There's many different types of fiber. The two main categories are soluble and insoluble fiber. Inside this collection cup is mostly the insoluble fiber, and when you juice, you are getting all the soluble fiber, because soluble means dissolved in water. And the soluble fiber is the stuff that's really important for our beneficial microbes, our microbiome, you know, as far as I'm concerned, as far as research states. Now the other thing I want to let you guys know is that both these machines are low-end machines, and I think I might have mentioned this or I didn't. They both have a 10-minute duty cycle. As you guys can see, I juiced like 5 minutes in here, 5 minutes in there approximately, and we made like basically 32 ounces of juice. So depending on what you're juicing, you could probably make up to 64 ounces of juice before you have to stop. If you run the machine too long, it will cut out and stop on you. You shouldn't get it to that, because then it's basically going to overheat and you may be causing some damage. So use the machine as long as you need to. Turn it off and then let it have a good rest period of say 20 minutes to cool down, which I speed that up by putting it in the fridge if I need to. So then you can continue to juice, alright? So yeah, we got this shaken down. Now let's go ahead and do a close-up on the yields to see what we got. Alright, let's go ahead and do a close-up on the juices itself. Over on the Shine side, looks like we have basically right at like a little bit under 900. I'm going to call that, I don't know, 890 maybe? I don't know, 880, something like that. And then over on the Omega 365 side, looks like we just basically have a tad over 800. So yeah, a tad over 800 versus almost 900. You could definitely see there's a difference in the yields, and definitely the Shine juicer in this recipe was more efficient. Alright, so as you guys just learned, the Shine juicer was more efficient than the Omega 365. But now the other thing that's important is some people like pulp in their juice and some people don't like pulp in their juice. So I want to show you guys how much pulp is in the juice. So with the Shine juicer, there's this much pulp, which actually looks to be a really reasonable amount of pulp for this recipe to me. It's hardly none at all. And then in the Omega 365, looks like it's actually, this is a lot heavier. Looks like to be at least twice as much pulp collected in here. So, you know, if you like pulp, hey, get the 365. If you like minimal pulp, get the Shine. And of course, you can use a sieve, not included, to strain it out if you don't want to partake in the pulp. Let's see here. Now I want to go ahead and try the juices right quick for you guys. They're both made in a slow extraction method, and it should be pretty good. It's basically red grapes. I do encourage you guys to choose black grapes whenever you can find them. They are more nutritious than the red grapes, and the red grapes are more nutritious than the green grapes due to their higher antioxidant content because of the pigments. And more importantly, try to buy seeded grapes when you're juicing, because if you juice seeded grapes in a slow juicer like this, as some scientific studies have shown, you will get more of the different nutrients, such as the proanthocyanins, you know, that are contained in the grape seed as they get juiced and crushed, and the juices and the nutrients are released with from the seed into the juice. All right. Wow. That recipe like makes me want to smile. Like, there's so much mint in there, and I'm so glad I use my mint because I have all this mint and it keeps growing. So the best thing you guys could do if you guys juice is have a garden, because now I have basically unlimited mint for free that grows. It's the highest quality and it tastes amazing. This is a very interesting juice. I've never made this before. You know, I come up with recipes on the fly. I got these organic grapes on sale and I'm like, I gotta juice something with the grapes, and celery's pretty neutral, and the mint, wow, it tastes amazing. Man, that's a fine juice. I really taste the kickback of the mint, and then you get a little tartness from the grapes, and then you get like the minerally richness of the celery. That's quite interesting. I'm tripping. That's a trippy juice there. Let's go ahead and try this, and I don't know if I'll even taste the difference here. Interesting. Well, I know this Shine juice has been sitting a little bit while. 365 juice hasn't, and I didn't mix either of these up, but this one tastes a little bit more like clean, maybe. I don't know if I'd describe it as clean, or I don't know. It's maybe a little bit more thick, but it's not really thick because they're both strained through the same sieve. It's just really interesting. I mean, for all practical purposes, they're like the same, so don't even trip about like, that one made it better or this one. These are both slow juices. They taste pretty much identical, except maybe if I mixed them up, alright? So that's that. And now I want to go over a few more important things I want to discuss. Number one, the pulp that is generated. So the pulp generated out of the Shine here. Wow, I'm kind of impressed. If we squeeze this, we could squeeze it. Yes, we could squeeze some juice out of there, but I'm saying that's a very solid extraction. I mean, grapes are really watery, and this has done quite a sufficient job getting a lot of the nutrients out. It's basically ground up everything into a pulp. And then on the Omega 365, you can see it puts it in these like little, I don't know, could I say turds on YouTube? Little turd-like shapes. Looks like my dog pooping. And then if we squeeze this, I mean, this seems a lot more wet to me. I mean, but that only makes sense to me because basically as the pulp comes out, there's no restriction or back pressure, just lets it free flow, whereas this has a little back pressure. So that may account for the difference in the yield, plus also just the extraction method may account for the difference in the yield, all right? So that's that. And now I want to show you guys what you need to clean when you're done juicing. So with the 365, you're going to go ahead and remove this, and you can see there's pulp stuck in that little center hole there. And it's coming out here, and it's still rather wet in there. Let's see if I can. I can't even tap it out, so I basically usually blast water through here. I got to get a chopstick or something because they don't give you a tool to actually get that out. So I find that curious. Next, we got the juicing screen coming out right here. So you can see the juicing screen is impacted with pulp. I usually just brush that down with the included cleaning brush, or actually I use an IKEA dish brush. They only cost 50 cents, you know, because it has a lot more surface area, so I could clean faster. This doesn't look that hard to clean. And then you have the auger here, just a little bit of pulp on the auger, not too hard to clean. And then of course open this guy up, and you got the drum, which actually is fairly already cleaned itself almost. So just maybe a quick rinse under the water, alright? Really simple and easy to clean. Of course the pulp catch bins and the juice catch cups. Alright, over on the Shine juicer, we're going to go ahead and pull that guy off. Once again, this part actually very easy to clean. That's a little funnel feeder piece. Next we got the auger and the screen coming out. So let's take a look at these two items. So over here we got the auger. Once again, the auger is fairly clean, not a lot on it, maybe a little bit on there. That's because I did let it run after I shut it off. And then we got the juicing screen, which I would say is impacted a little bit more with pulp than the Omega 365, and definitely this looks a bit more ground in on the bottom level than the grounded inness of the pulp here. I mean, they're both actually ground in, but there's a lot more screen area on this round circular screen to clean than this guy. You know, so I'd say this one is going to take me a little bit longer to clean, actually. And then finally we have the juicing bowl over on this, and once again, the juicing bowl, fairly easy to clean. And once again, when you're cleaning this machine, you're going to pop out this little black silicone flap, and I like that I could take my little pinky finger and kind of sweep it in here and kind of get most of the pulp that's in here out. And the other thing I like to do is I like to just basically take this thing and just tap it, and generally all the pulp comes out. Or, you know, on this guy, almost got all of it with my finger, but I might have to just blast some water through there to get the rest of the pulp out. So yeah, this should not take me any more than like 3 minutes to clean each one, if that. Alright, so at the end of every episode, I always declare a winner of the juice off. So which winner am I going to say today? You know what? I mean, this to me is a clear situation where I could pick a clear winner. The Shine juicer made more juice, like maybe 10% more. The Shine juicer has a 2-year longer warranty. The Shine juicer takes less counter space. This is very important if you live in an apartment in New York City. The Shine juicer is supported by Tribest that at present time has better customer service than Omega. But the only negative of the Shine that I saw is that you may need to pre-cut, which I personally don't mind. I'd rather pre-cut than push. And the other thing is it took 1 extra minute, but you made more juice, so I think I'd rather take an extra minute because, you know, produce, especially organic produce, can get quite expensive. So that's pretty much it. You know, if you guys are looking for a juicer, besides just this test, even though this one showed better, if you guys are going to juice like leafy greens and celery and you don't want to pre-cut and wheatgrass, get this machine. I don't recommend necessarily this machine if you want to juice like straight wheatgrass and do wheatgrass shots and a lot of wheatgrass. While this machine can juice wheatgrass, you need to pre-cut it in little pieces, 1/4-inch pieces, for it to work properly without jamming on that right angle ejection port. I'll put a link down below if I remember to a video where I show how to juice wheatgrass properly in any vertical juicer. But other than that, man, my money is on the Shine all the way. This will continue to be my travel juicer, and despite being a crack on the screen, it still worked without issue, although I will be contacting Tribest to get a replacement. So next video, I'll have a screen that's fully functional once again. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please be sure to click the links down below to support me and make your purchase at discountjuicers.com. This allows me to continue to buy my organic produce, pay my electricity bill so I could have the lighting on and have the camera, and I could make all these videos for you guys to show you guys the truth about juicers. So I thank you guys in advance who will purchase from me. Also, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and like it, and be sure to share this with somebody else that's looking for a low-cost, inexpensive, entry-level juicer to get started juicing so that you can turn your health around and get more phytonutrients in you. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss out on my new upcoming episodes that are coming out about every 5 to 7 days. You no matter where I'll show up or what you'll be learning on my YouTube channel, or what new to juicers or appliances that allow you to eat more fruits and vegetables I'll be making. And make sure you click the little bell so you get notified as those new videos come out. Finally, be sure to check my past episodes. My past episodes are a wealth of knowledge, over 500 episodes at this time on this YouTube channel, dedicated to comparing and contrasting and sharing with you guys all the best appliances on the planet so that you guys could eat more plant-based foods, which are some of the healthiest foods on the planet as well. So with that, my name is John Kohler with discountjuicers.com. Be sure to visit discountjuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for YouTube visitors.